I know you can't hear anything at all because it is so incredibly windy, but here we are. Now a car's going by to watch me. No cars go by for like 10 minutes, and then of course a car goes by as soon as I start going. Hey, it's Elizabeth coming to you from almost the Sonora Pass. So I'm at 8,400 feet. I got another 1,500 feet to go or something, 1,200 feet to go to get over the pass. It's only like 12:30 in the afternoon, but I'm actually pretty close to where I was planning to stop. So I haven't really figured out. I actually looked at some of the campgrounds and they were like $24, $26 for like no water. I mean, it's a pit toilet and trash service, but no water. I don't understand what's worth 25 bucks, you know? I think it's a play because the RVs parked there, and I totally get that part of what you're paying for is this beautiful place. Like, I mean, look at this. But I really don't want to be paying that much money. I have been thinking about staying in a campground tonight as the first night of a trip because I need to deal with all this. I need to put away all my food. I need to organize my clothes, which I did laundry 2 days ago and haven't put my stuff away. I wish I would have done it yesterday, but I actually, during the times I could have done it, I forgot to do it. And then other times, yeah, I don't know. So I also just need to rest. Since I'm at elevation, I'm making more red blood cells so I can deal with the oxygen, which is awesome. I'm drinking tons of water. I'm so much wanting tons of water, which means that I really have to watch my blood sugar. I'm also extra hungry because my body is making all these red blood cells. So between all that, I have to really manage that, as well as just having less oxygen and elevation. I'm driving on very dangerous roads because then they're very curvy, and the cliff of 1,000 feet or 10,000 feet, I don't know, however much down, not 10,000, we're not that high, thousands of feet down. And there's a grade up here, which we're not at yet, that's a 24% grade. I think it's actually 24% down from this direction, which, to be honest, I'd rather do than up, because at some of the steep grades, I'm having to downshift to first gear, which is fine. But, you know, the Honda Civic's having a bit of trouble with it. We can do it, but, you know, just do the best job you can. I have driven this highway before. I also driven before over, this is 108. And so I know I can do it, or at least I was able to do it at one time, or this car was able to do it at one time. I'm really thinking that I want my next vehicle to be the Subaru Outback, as much as I would like to have four-wheel drive. I think what I actually want is a car that's a good compromise, that has pretty good high clearance and all-wheel drive, but it also gets good gas mileage and is not expensive to maintain and will be reliable. And I can be sort of stealth when I'm in a city. And I like being in a car. It really means you have a lot more flexibility in a lot of ways. And if I got the Subaru Outback, what's it called? The Wilderness Edition. It has like extra lift. It has this roof rack that's super good. I don't know, whatever. It like takes a lot more weight. It has a skid plate on the bottom. I mean, it would be pretty cool. They're like 40 grand. So, which is actually not that bad for an SUV. I mean, SUVs and pickup trucks are so overpriced. The Subarus are actually very reasonable because they're crossover, you know, almost a station wagon cars. My big question would be, would I be able to sit up in the back? Maybe, you know. So that's nice to have a goal in that way. Something specific that I'm trying to work towards. Part of the reason I want to pay off my debt is so I can get a new car, get a SUV. And I actually always wanted a Subaru Outback. I wanted one. What it was, I don't know, 15 years ago when I got a SUV, and I got a Lexus because the person I was married to at the time really felt like his wife should be driving a Lexus. So that's what I got. It was a beautiful car. It was so nice on the inside. It very expensive to maintain, and I sold it when I was getting divorced. So, because it was just made no sense to pay for that going forward. So I got a Honda Civic to something much more reasonable and reliable. I mean, not that a Lexus isn't reliable, but it's expensive when anything happens. I mean, Honda Civic you can take to anywhere to get the oil change. You know, I mean, this is a straightforward car as far as they go. Especially since this is 11 years old, so it doesn't have all the fanciness that new cars have. It still has, you know, spark plugs and, you know, the old school things. It's not all super fancy pants. The hardest part for me when I go on a trip is the first day or two, I have to switch into trip mode. And trip mode is very different than city mode. City mode, work mode is like going from place to place to place to getting stuff done and being productive and checking stuff off the to-do list. This is travel mode. Now, I definitely am going to be going from place to place. Tomorrow I need to pay all my bills and do all that kind of stuff because it's the first of the month. I still have bills due on the first, even though I'm not in an apartment anymore. I'll need to like, you know, check all my inboxes and all that kind of stuff because I may be gone a whole week. I'm not going to let everything go. And part of the idea of me living in my car and traveling full time is that I still work when I'm traveling, except when I'm on, like, actually off grid, which is what I am today. Right now, I am very, like, not having connectivity. Once I get to wherever I'm going, I will turn on my satellite thing and then ping my son and my significant other and also message them via to tell them where I'm at. The thing is, I could stay here as long as I want. Well, no, I can't spend the night here, but I could stay here for hours. I don't need to be in a hurry to get to the next place. And that's actually where it's like, what do I do? Do I read a book? Do I just do I read a book? Do I just sit here? Do I write in my journal? Part of me recording video actually is me journaling, record in video form. Do I watch a show? Do I play SimCity on my computer? I mean, I can do whatever I want. I don't have to do some sort of nature activity. The thing is, I really am not up for going on a hike. I walked down to some water at the picnic area. It was not far. And I was like, I mean, yeah, I am in elevation and I have troubles. I'm hoping I'll be okay tomorrow. And I'm really hoping I'll be okay the day after tomorrow. But I do want to sleep at half decent amount of elevation. Not necessarily this high though. So I'm going to stay here at least until I need to do my next blood test, which is, I don't know, try 20 minutes at this point, and see where I'm at and see if I need to eat anything, because I'm drinking so much water, I need to eat more food. I ate so much for lunch, like so much rice with my meal and 2 eggs and a bunch of broccoli. It was really good, and I was so hungry and I ate it all up. I was way more hungry than I usually am. Oh, another fun fact, my allergy medicine is running out. I should have gotten the refill when I was at my storage unit. So I'm thinking that maybe when I go grocery shopping tomorrow, when I'm in town tomorrow, I don't know if I'm gonna go grocery shopping, but at least I'll stop by town. I may get like Flonase or something at a pharmacy, or, you know, like a CVS, Walgreens or whatever in Bishop, because then I can just use that for this part of the trip, and at least it'll be something. All right, I'm gonna chill. Talk to you in a bit. Bye-bye. So to give you an idea of how elevation affects me, I've been sitting here for probably 45 minutes, 45 minutes. I was playing like SimCity. I'm just relaxing. I mean, chill, very chill. My glucose is 165, totally fine. I ate a lot of rice with lunch, so I'm pleasantly surprised that it's only 165. Like, that's right on for me, as long as it's under 180 for me, especially for me like that, especially at elevation. However, my heart rate, literally sitting here for half an hour, is 120. And my resting heart rate is in the low 60s. So that it's twice as much. Like, it is, I could be walking on back at Planet Fitness. When I get on the treadmill after I walk for 5 or 10 minutes, my heart rate's not this high. So, especially if I haven't like put on the, Medito faster, if I'm just walking at an easy pace. So that just shows to you how challenged my body is by elevation. I'm at this altitude of 8,400 feet, which is, I'm going to be getting higher than that, another 1,000 feet. One of the reasons I decided to stop here, part of it was just to be chill and enjoy this beautiful, beautiful place that I'm in. I'll show it to you. That's my beautiful view out there, beautiful. Part of it was just to enjoy the view and just chill and relax and take some pictures of the car and all in this view and, that kind of. Part of it was to rest and just chill. Still at 120. I actually didn't take it when I first got here, but I don't want to become lightheaded while driving up this high, right? So you need to be careful. So I'm at 160, so I'm not at low blood sugar or high blood sugar. I'm totally fine, and that's good. I have, protein bars and stuff like that if I needed to eat more, but I'm okay for right now. Once I get over the pass and stop somewhere, then I will probably have a snack. I have an idea of where I want to, if I'm going to disperse camp, I have an idea where I'm going to camp. There's another 2 campgrounds on this highway before it gets to 395. One of them's pretty close to 395, so I'm imagining it'd be hot there, but I actually don't know how hot it would be because at that point, 395 is still at a fairly high elevation, so it might not be hot. No idea how much those campgrounds cost. Sadly, I didn't do that level of research. Next time, thing for the next trip is plan where my first night's gonna be for sure. Plan a campground for my first night because I need to, I'm always gonna need, like, I just know that I will always need to like re-clean up everything in the car, redo all my food, change everything is from being in a city to being on the road. And unless I'm just going to go out for 1 or 2 nights, and especially if I'm not going to be in bear country, you know. But here, yeah, I need to put stuff away. So there's that. That's something I will definitely do different. And then also look up how much all these campsites cost and find one that's reasonably priced. I don't want to be paying $25 for a campsite. I will if there's nothing else, and if I'm really not comfortable staying in a dispersed place, but I'd rather be paying more, like $12, or I'd rather be paying $0. So the rest of the places I'm planning on doing dispersed, and I actually have places picked out. Whether or not I'm gonna be able to remember where they are, I feel like I did note them all, but Google Maps isn't able to pull them up very well, even though I downloaded all the maps. I don't know. I still have not figured out the best way to do this stuff. Yeah, it's like 5 a.m. I've been up for a little bit, still in my car, and I'm at a campground. It's a fairly spread out campground, so I'm not right next to anybody or anything like that. There's like these small trees that are in between each site. So I'm having this trouble where do not have a good routine for when I'm traveling. And I mean it in 2 different ways. Part of it I mean is remember to take the vitamins, and when do I brush my teeth, and when do I do all the normal kind of habits that you do each day, as well as also things that I want to be doing, you know, work stuff and learning things and etc. But the other thing that I mean is, what do I do at certain times, and what is my like pattern for when do I eat breakfast and when do I bathe and all these things. So like typically when I would go camping, I would just be going for a couple nights, and I would like not even worry about taking a shower, or I'd be staying at a campground where they would have showers, you know. So on this trip, and probably in a lot of my trips in the future, I may not be staying anywhere that has a shower for chunks of time. And there's no Planet Fitnesses in very remote places. They're in cities, you know. Now, if I'm driving from place to place to place to place in other parts of the country, not the West, there will be Planet Fitnesses because there'll be cities, because a lot of cities are closer together. But out here in the desert and mountains of Eastern California and Nevada and such, like there's huge extenses of space where there's no cities and there's no Planet Fitnesses. So my point is, I need to have routines for how I take care of all those kinds of things, and I don't have that yet. I really like my routine in town where I wake up and the first thing I do is go to Planet Fitness, and I go to the bathroom and exercise and take a shower, or at least go to the bathroom and take a shower. It uses up that time because I wake up at 4:30 to 5:30 a.m. And even now in the summer, it's not light until 6. Now at 5:30, I can actually start cooking breakfast outside. It's bright enough to do that. But, you know, part of my idea of setting up things so I could cook inside the car was so I could cook right now. The issue is that I need to get up anyway, and I need to go to the bathroom. Like I'm going to need to go get up and pee in a minute. But it's too cold for me to get dressed for the day. So like right now I'm wearing sweatpants and stuff because it's too cold for me to wear the shorts and tank top that I'm going to be wanting to wear later. So I wouldn't want to bathe and put these clothes back on because I actually slept in that part of the night. But I also want to have hot water for bathing. Because like yesterday I just used wet wipes, which is okay, but does not make me feel clean. And it also, I don't think is that effective. So I want to use like actual water. And so I need to heat the water, which I need to do outside. And there's really a better thing to do after breakfast. I did not sleep very well last night. I kept losing things. I lost my glasses case. How did I lose something in the car? Not that big of a space. I had trouble because the moon was so freaking bright. It was like a spotlight. And with these, so like these block everything, but this is just a screen. It doesn't really block light. And so it was like a spotlight on me. And then I was too hot. I was too cold. I was uncomfortable. I eventually got to sleep and became comfortable and went to sleep and was fine, but it was weird. And I also just felt I had weird feelings about everything. So I love road trip traveling. I love going camping and hiking and all this stuff, but it is different doing it when this is your life. And I'm trying to balance it with working and normal things, because this isn't a vacation for me in the same way as it is just life. So yeah, so it's strange. It's strange. And I'm kind of figuring out how to handle that strangeness. Well, I went farther on this trail than I have in the past. I don't even think I'm a fourth ton. I'm going to keep going as long as the uphill goes, but the 4.5 miles ain't happening today. I just don't have the tolerance. Like, I'm breathing heavy and I'm just literally standing here. I don't have the tolerance for the altitude yet. 2 nights isn't enough. 3 nights might be, 2 nights ain't. So good information to know for the future. And I did go farther on this hike than I ever before. So it is a little bit of progress. Hey y'all, so I was able to do some of the hike that I've been working on, but I've realized that I need to acclimate myself to elevation in a way like I'm going to be climbing Mount Everest or something, where I, hike high elevation, come sleep down at low, hike higher, sleep low, like that, or over a period of multiple days. It says I slept at over 8,000 feet 2 nights. And I thought that would be enough for me to be able to do a hike at 10,000, and it was not. Now, I was able to walk on a flat surface or go downhill and not be, taxed. But going uphill, I mean, my goodness, every so many steps I had to stop and breathe and let my blood and heart and everything catch up. So I was able, though, to do a lot of the hike that I wanted to do. So I'm really glad about that. I was able to do a chunk of the trail that I want to eventually someday. We'll do that 4-mile trail. And then I went over into another part of the trail. So I was able to do a nice 3-mile hike, which at 3 miles at 10,000 feet, that's actually hard. And it wasn't 3 miles flat. It was, went up, down. So I enjoyed that. It was a lovely hike. It was actually really nice and cool because I did it at 7:30, 8 o'clock in the morning. So it was in the 50s and 60s, which was important because a lot of it was full sun. So it would really suck if it was hot. I wouldn't be able to do it at all, especially because it's at 10,000 feet. So one of my plans for the future, whenever I want to do more hiking, is to have the first couple days be this, like, all I'm doing is acclimating. I am hike, sleep, to get myself up to being able to do hikes at 9 or 10,000 feet or more. That's going to be a big thing when I go to Yellowstone. I want to be able to do good hikes in Yellowstone. And so I want to acclimate myself before that. So I don't know where I'll do the acclimation, if I'll do it on the way, kind of, or something. But we'll see. I haven't decided how long that trip is going to be. If it's just going to be 2 weeks or if it's going to be like 2 months. I haven't decided if I'm coming back in between things, really. So right now, I came down off that mountain and I wanted to be able to answer email and send text messages and do work. Because the thing is, this isn't vacation for me. This is my life. So I still have work to do. Not every single second, not every single day, but I still need to, keep all the balls in the air. So I am at a park in a small town. And this is something that I think is really important. If you're road tripping, if you're doing extensive travel, don't forget that small towns have parks too. So parks are a great place to park in the shade, which is what I'm doing. It's in the 80s, but it's totally lovely in the shade because it's a nice breeze. There's a restroom. It was a little bit, I think not that many people use that restroom because there was a spider web in the stall and I could see this. I mean, I was just like, nobody's using this restroom besides me right now. There are little kids here with their parents and someone with the dog. And so locals use this. And there's a couple trucks that are parked here, like people who work, and they're parked here for their lunch break or something like that. So these are kind of great places for you to go to the bathroom, for you to stop, check your messages, have a snack. I could make a picnic lunch if I wanted to. If you have little kids, you could have them play at the small town playground. There may be small towns that you are not compatible with, and I am fully aware of that, but being a middle-aged white woman, I'm not really worried about that kind of stuff very much. So I'm gonna stay here for a little bit, record some video, do some messages, all that kind of stuff, and then I'm gonna be heading back up to the Sierra Nevadas. I was on a different mountain, on the White Mountain Range, I think is what it's called. And I'm gonna go up to the Sierra Nevadas. I'm planning to go down a road I've never actually been before. So before I do that, I'm actually gonna do some research. So they know the reason I'm here, because I kind of regroup. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye. So this here is a volcano. This is the caldera of a volcano that went off, what they say, 700,000 years ago in a blast that was 2,500 times larger than Mount St. Helens. So here's the thing, it's not extinct, it's just dormant. So someday this will go off again, most likely. That's why there's all these hot springs out here along the 395 in Eastern California, is because this is a volcano. It's not very obvious. I never knew this was out here until I was out here exploring a couple years ago. It doesn't look like a volcano, but that's because it's so kind of big and flat. But hey, Al, you might think that I am in Yellowstone. Nope, this is California. There's geological features here too. And this area is closed because it's boiling water that's coming out of there, and it will kill you if you try to get in there. Hey, Al, so I am at a geological site, which is run by the Forest Service. There have been a couple people who were here. It was even a CAL fire came by, and to use the restroom and look at the geological site, not to do anything with fire. But right now there's nobody here. I'm parked under a tree that won't block my sun for that much longer, but for a little bit, and just the wide open nothing. It's in the low 80s, I think, but it's super windy, so it doesn't feel hot at all. It feels great. Like it's the perfect wind for this temperature, perfect temperature for this wind, you know? And I'm gonna make myself a couple wraps. We have chicken salad wraps and have my lunch, drink my water, and just chill here for a little bit. I have internet if I wanted to do work, or I could just sit and do nothing, or I could watch a show, or I could just eat my food and look at mountains and trees and clouds and brushland. This is one of those times where it's like, yeah, this is perfect. Someone's coming down the road, so my bliss will end a little bit when someone else shows up, but it's good for a moment. Hey all, I'm coming to you from the side of a gravel road. Not really gravel road, gravel dirt road. I went to this campground that is free that I thought might have some spots. It had no spots, but also did not have the energy that I wanted. So it is all RVs, like big RVs that, and people who have like all kinds of stuff, like they are there for 2 weeks, like the max. That is why they're there. There is a camp host. I don't know, it does not have the vibe I want from a free campground. I want a free campground where you just go and there's like, it's like chill. This is the opposite of chill. It makes sense. We're really close to Yosemite. We're really close to like so much stuff along the 395 that people are really looking for a free campground to, you know, be where they're gonna do their stuff. I'm actually thinking of just going over to the area around Mono Lake where I was planning to go tomorrow night. I'm starting to get to the point of like, I've learned a lot from this trip. I'm really glad I did this trip. I'm starting to become over it just because I still am having trouble figuring out where to stay when I'm out. Because here's the thing, I'm in a place right now that's very close to Yosemite. So because of that, it is very busy. There are tons of people here on vacation or doing their whatever activities. There's tons of van life people here who are taking good spots on Forest Service land, BLM land, etc. And so it's hard to find places to go and not have to pay $26 or $30 a night for a campground. And this is not even a fancy campground or in a really nice place. This is just a basic Forest Service campground that has pit latrines and probably has water for $30, but and trash service, but that's it. I'm not like, no. So part of me wishes I almost stayed at the place that was $5 or almost free, or it was $5 donation, which I did give them the $5. Part of me wishes, as I said, stayed there, but I actually wanted to come down and check my messages and just do some things. So I'm glad I did that. But it is hard to find spots. It is. There's another campground that's up farther, but it's closed. And that's another thing too. There's a lot of closed campgrounds around here because of flooding and such. So anyway, I'm going to go up to Mono Lake. I'm just going to go to the trailhead of this one crater and then regroup from there, because then I'll be able to go to the bathroom and kind of think about where I want to spend the night tonight. And it may be that I spend the night tonight and then tomorrow do my Yosemite drive. I don't know. That's kind of what I'm leaning towards right now. We'll see. We'll see how I feel. I just really don't want to be in a place full of a gazillion different people who are different kinds of travelers than me. This campground is for people who are taking their four-wheeler off-roading. That ain't my kind of traveling, and there's nothing wrong with that, obviously, but it's not my thing. And I'm also not the, big giant RV with the tow vehicle person either, The campground I was at last night, that was my kind of people. It was tent campers, a few vans, people having the rooftop on top of a truck, tents. Those are the people. So yeah, I went to some cool places today. Loved the hike with the trees. I loved going to that geological site. I love that kind of stuff. There's a ton of more things for me to see around here, some of which I can't do in the car, as I would need high clearance for. So that's a future thing for years from now. But I've learned a lot of stuff, and I'm also so glad that I was able to bathe this morning with my own little bathing situation. Made a huge difference on my feeling good about life and myself. So I figured out bathing, getting my hands clean. Got that figured out. Not saying that they're perfectly clean right now, because I've been out in the world for a little bit, and none of the places I've gone to the bathroom had running water and soap. So there's that. Now I'm gonna go back on the highway, go back over to where I've been before, and actually I've never gone to this crater, so that'll be a new thing. Maybe I'll hike up it, we'll see how I feel, like literally physically, see how I'm doing. I'm still having trouble with the hiking up a hill at this altitude. Maybe tomorrow I'll be better and I'll be able to do some hikes in Yosemite. We'll see. Okay, I'm at the end of a gravel road. That was to a campground that was free. I looked at reviews of it, and it had, people in different rigs had done on there. And so I thought, this is gonna be fine. If big, campers can go there, they must have had clearance, because I had to drive through sand. I got through it, but it was freaking me out. And then I get to a point where it's like there's a turn off into the actual campground, and there's like two grooves with like a little hill in the middle. Not doing that in the Honda Civic. I really actually don't know the clearance of this car, and I need to go look that up. And I actually want to bring a ruler and go up there and measure things, because I don't have a good idea of what clearance I have and what it looks like for that clearance. But the sand was not cool. I did not like that. I'm also in a place where I'm going to pull out and just hope no one hits me, because I can't see down this road of this highway. And there are many cars, but, so yeah. I enjoyed driving it to a certain extent, and then it freaked me out, but it was an experience. So, it's beautiful out here. But yeah, I think I'm going to have to find a campground, because there's just I can't figure out the dispersed camping. Now it's only 4:18. I still have time, but I kind of need to pee. And here it's like, where am I going to the bathroom? Behind a bush? I don't know. Okay, so yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I am stopped at a random historical site, some kind of mill. I haven't actually looked at it yet. I'm gonna go over and look at it, because, might as well. I have a park here. And there's the one picnic table, so someone could have a picnic. One person could have a picnic. I didn't appreciate how sandy it was here. I think, so there's a lake out there, if you can see. I don't know if it'll focus on it. Mono Lake, super cool. I've been here multiple times. That lake, in thousands of years, has always filled all the way up to here, long time ago. So that's why this is sandy, and it makes sense. But I'm not driving the Honda Civic on sand. That I have no experience in doing that. I'm not interested in that. That isn't something that I'm up for. So what does that mean? I honestly don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. Am I gonna find some just random dispersed place? Am I gonna go find a campground? Am I gonna drive to a town and get a motel? I don't know. I don't know. And it's getting to be after 4 o'clock. I don't know. I really kind of thought dispersed camping would be a bit easier around here, because this is all dispersed camping. If I had high clearance, especially if I had high clearance, all-wheel drive or even four-wheel drive, just tons of places. It would be amazing. But I don't have high clearance. So I don't know. There are some places literally pulled over the side of the road. Not here, you're not allowed to park here overnight, but places literally pulled over the side of the road that I could theoretically park at, especially if I got there after dark. But then what do I do between now and then? I actually would like to, I don't know. Yeah, I really don't know what I'm gonna do tonight. So stay tuned, we'll see. Okay, I found a spot. My first dispersed camping spot that I did all by myself without checking iOverlander or any of the things. It's a fairly big pull out because it goes to a road. That road is too sandy for me. I actually drew it down it a little bit, and I was not cool with it. Now, unfortunately, there actually is someone within a line of sight. A guy just pulled over on a different road. But you know what? Whatever, that's fine. I have enough little small trees, bushy trees, that I can go behind to pee, which is the most important thing. So I can, you know, be away from other people. That person may not spend the night. It's still early enough. I'm going to, in a little bit, I'm going to cook dinner and just hang out. Also, I have a little bit of like one bar, so that is actually nice too, because it makes me feel a little bit more kind of safe. And also I can talk to people and I can watch YouTube. All right, talk to you later. Bye-bye. Okay, so I am in a dispersed campsite. I have eaten my food. I have cleaned up after my food. Everything is inside the car, the trunk. I'm at stealth because someone can see me because I have the window open. Nothing, my side windows and stuff aren't covered, but nothing on the outside. I'm feeling good about this dispersed campsite for right now. It's just on a road. I very much believe this is an area that I can camp in. I looked up the rules. The future, I'm going to do a video on that. It is actually very hard to figure out because there's so many different levels of government and it's so hard to figure out who owns what land when things aren't labeled. So, as I figure that out, I will do some videos on that. And I'm saying from the perspective of someone not only who lives in their car and does dispersed camping, but someone who is a lawyer. So anyway, it actually really winded me to do the dishes because I still am not used to the elevation. 2 nights at 8,000 feet just wasn't enough. I'm going to have to figure out what the solution is for not having altitude problems. I was able to do my hike, but hiking up a hill is very difficult for me. I have a lot of situational awareness things I'm doing right now, checking everything out, little noises. It's just bugs. Anyway, here in this spot, I'm parked facing the road. And I have nothing on the outside. So if I need to leave, I just pull down the winter stage and I'm straight shot. If something's sketchy, if there's an animal that's bothering me that I can't deal with, besides like a raccoon, or something, that's not a big deal. If there's an animal bothering me, if there's people who are creeping me out, whatever, I'm out. I have connectivity here, so I feel fairly safe because of that, in the sense of I can call 911 besides having to just push my SOS button on my little device. And also my significant other and my son both know exactly where I'm at because I hit the button on that. And so it gives the exact GPS location of where I'm at. So tonight I have connectivity so I can like chill by watching a YouTube video, whatever. That's really nice. I will need to use my Cephaly device for migraines. I'll need to wash my face, brush my teeth, all that kind of stuff. And I will need to put some of this stuff in the trunk. Some of it can just be moved around, but like my backpack and things, because that also has a little food in it. I want nothing that's food that smells inside the car because this is a bear area. I don't know how active bears will be right here, but it's not impossible, So I want to make sure that the inside of the car is not attractive. But the real thing is, if something starts attacking my car, I will literally just start my car and start driving. I will like be pulling down the window things as I start driving. Like that is what I will do. It will be intense. I'll just put my glasses on, start the car. Actually, I'll probably start the car before I even have my glasses on. One nice thing is there's no one around here as of right now. So just going and peeing behind one of these lovely little trees will be something that will be no problem. So that's kind of nice. Figuring out dispersed camping is difficult when you're in a Honda Civic, something that's a passenger car. It doesn't have high clearance or 4-wheel drive or any of that jazz. I can understand why people who do this will go back to the same spot over and over, because you find a good spot, you keep it, it makes sense. And this is actually one of the reasons it's a good spot isn't just the fact that I'm, parked here for free and all that stuff, which is awesome. And this is a highway that's not very busy, is that I'm like 10 or 15 minutes from the town and 30 minutes from the entrance to Yosemite. So might even be 10. Yeah, it did not take very long for me to get to a town. So that makes it easy and also strategic, because I plan to go to Yosemite tomorrow and I want to be at the entrance to Yosemite very, very early. How early really depends. I don't want to be there when it's still dark, but it depends on what time I wake up. If I wake up at 4:30 a.m., I'll cook breakfast, make coffee, wash up, get dressed, everything before I go. If I wake up at 6 a.m., I may just go, like go to the bathroom and then go. So that way I'm kind of on the road. I don't know if I'm going to be in the mood tomorrow to do hiking and stop at every roadside thing and all that stuff at Yosemite or not. I have driven that road twice, I think. One time I was stuck in horrible construction traffic almost the whole time. I'm sure there's going to be some traffic. I actually need to check on that. And because I'm sure there's big construction, because they just opened up the road like, I don't know, a week ago and not very long. And there'll just be, tourists on it and stuff. My idea of getting there at the crack of dawn is to beat a lot of that. I may drive just straight through and go all the way back to the Silicon Valley. I may do a bunch of hikes and do a bunch of things along the way. I don't know what I'm going to be in the mood for. I really don't. Am I kind of done? I've accomplished what I really wanted to do on this trip. And the things I really want to do is figure out dispersed camping, or at least done dispersed camping. So I have done it. So it's, I've broken the seal on it. I wanted to figure out bathing, which I did this morning, and it was so good. I did a washcloth bath with hot water that I heated up with the same way I heat up my water for my coffee. That I felt so much better, because last night I was really in a bad mood. And I think a big part of it was because I felt so disgusting. And it really hadn't even been that long. I've been camping longer than that, but for some reason I felt disgusting. So bathing this morning with my washcloth bath in the car, felt so good. Felt actually clean. My hands were clean and my nails were clean and everything. I might do that tomorrow morning if I'm awake early enough, but if I'm not, I might just be like, I'm out. Because I don't want to be caught in horrible traffic on the road in Yosemite on 120. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what mood I'm going to be in. One thing I do want to do tonight is I want to make sure I'm not cold. I was too cold last night. I left my windows cracked, and I think that's a mistake. I think gets so cold up here. I think I should, once I actually am going to bed and it's cooled off enough in my car, which means I have to wait till after sunset because it's actually pretty warm in my car right now. Then I think I'm going to have my windows be all the way up so I'm not too cold. I actually only have a cotton blanket and then my throw blanket on top of it. Once I put my sweatpants and my long sleeve shirt on, then I was okay. But I really should have brought one more blanket. I had it in here and then somehow left it in my storage. I put it back in my storage. So I don't know. I need one more blanket because I'm fine when it's like in the 40s, but if it was in the 30s, which it was predicted to be in the 30s last night, I don't know if it got into that or not because I can't really tell. I didn't have connectivity. Then it was too cold. The car stays very warm compared to the outside. I mean, it's much warmer in the car, even with the windows cracked, but still. When I get back, I have a number of things I'm planning to do. First, since I'm going to be back a day early, one of the reasons I'm going back is to get work done. I have not figured out how to do work on the road. It was funny because I'm in a car back in the Silicon Valley, so why can't I get work done on the road the same way? And the issue isn't the logistics of it. The issue is I'm not in the right mental space. If I'm like hiking all day, I can't go and like answer emails. It's just like a different mental space that I'm in. So what I'm thinking is when I'm traveling, I need to have dedicated work days. Like, okay, this day, these 2 days, whatever, those are work days. I'm going to be in a town. I'm going to have internet. I'm going to be going to a park or library, a coffee shop, whatever it is I need so I can do my work. I originally had been like, I'm not going to any coffee shops or eating out at all. But I actually, in small towns, sometimes the library is only open for 2 hours a day, 3 days a week, so you don't really have that option. So I think in some places I may need to go to a coffee shop. That may be the one place I can go and have connectivity. I probably won't upload videos till I get back to Silicon Valley because Silicon Valley's libraries have amazing speed. But yeah, that's what I'm thinking I'm going to do is have dedicated work time. I actually want to write that down. Dedicated work days. Now, there's a couple of things I need to solve. One is the mosquito problem. I have mosquito bites all over me. It sucks. I had spray. Obviously, it was not helpful. They bit me through my clothing. What am I supposed to do? Spray myself naked and then put my clothes on? I don't even understand. And then I need to find a solution for going to the bathroom in public. I actually have all the stuff in my Amazon list and I haven't bought it yet. So I need to buy the stuff for my next trip so I can go to the bathroom. When I say in public, what I mean is you're in a camping area or a dispersed area and there's other people around. Look at this out here. These area, where are you going to have cover to pee behind? Now, actually what I'm going to do is there's some trees over here that I think will be fine. And also there's nobody around. But if someone was at these other areas where someone could still come tonight, it would be a problem for me peeing. So I need to be able to have a little shelter and also I seem to be unable to poop in a hole. Okay, I've done this in the past, but it's been a really long time and my body is rejecting it. I had to go and I dug a hole and my body would not go. Said nope. And it just held it all in until I found a bathroom and it was very uncomfortable. So what I am thinking would be a better idea is to have, I think my body wants to have some kind of toilet seat sits on because I have no problem going in a porta potty or a pit toilet because there's a toilet seat. So I have some stuff in my Amazon list and I'm going to go ahead and buy them because I think it will be important. Then the rest of this month, which is August, I have jury duty next week. Hopefully I won't get called up, but you never know. Might just be on call. I need to film this month for my other channel and that I think I'm going to have to rent a hotel room or something. I need to have something where I can stage the room like with a desk that moves. Some hotels and motels, you can't, they have no desk or the desk doesn't move. So I need something like that. So I have to look at their things and see how their furniture is. I think I'll have my business pay for it because the only reason I'm getting that room is to shoot in it. I will also sleep there, of course, too. And then I need to sort through my 10 by 10 storage, sort through that entire thing, have all the stuff that I'm gonna get rid of versus pull out the stuff I'm gonna keep, have the stuff that goes to recycling or shredding, then I will do that. And then the stuff that I'm gonna have the junk haulers take. Once I get that done, then I will rent a 5 by 10, give notice to the 5 by 5 and the 10 by 10 places, and hire the junk haulers, and then move everything into my 5 by 10 storage and have the junk haulers haul everything away. So then I will just have one storage. That's the idea. I also want to have the storage in a different part of town. The part of town that 5 by 5 is where I used to live, and I don't really spend as much time there anymore. I'm spending less and less and less time there. I actually spend time in this part of town where my significant other is, and so I want to get a storage place by them. I think that makes most sense. And by the way, we've been together for 9 years, so this isn't like someone I just met where I'm like moving stuff around to be by them. We've been together for a very long time. So anyway, that's what things I'm doing. That's a really important thing. I don't know if I'm going to go on a trip between now and my big trip in late September, maybe to test out the rest of my gear. We'll see. I do have one night in a campground for the night of Labor Day. That's because Planet Fitness is closed. And then that way I have somewhere to go to the bathroom at 4:30 in the morning because I will be in a campground. I think they might have showers. I don't know how dogs look, but the main reason is so I have a bathroom. And it's only like, I think it might be the closest campground to where I live, to where I stay, to my home base. I don't know. I haven't figured out the wordage there yet. I haven't figured that out. All right. So hopefully this dispersed campsite works well tonight. You have to wish me luck and that I get a good night's sleep and nothing bad happens and nothing sketchy happens and it goes well. And then tomorrow I will be driving back through Yosemite to the Silicon Valley. When I was at that gas station, there were tourists there, Yosemite tourists. And I was like, oh, it's such a different kind of person than me. Like the people who were at that campground that I was at last night, they were my people. They were the people who go hiking, who go mountain biking, who go sleep in a tent or sleep. Maybe some of them had vans they slept in or had a roof, one of those tents that go on top of a pickup truck. And they were friendly. People said, hi, good morning. Those are my people. Those are the kind of people. That's the kind of campground. And that's the thing is, it's actually very hard to figure out what kind of campground will have those people. But when I do, I'm like, yes. This is the right place. These are my people. A lot of them had high clearance. I'm like, yeah, that's my goal. That's my that's my middle term goal working towards is getting my next vehicle. So I have to get my debt paid off first. So 2 or 3 years, maybe. We'll see if I can do it faster. If I can grow my YouTube channels quicker. All right, I'm gonna go back in the car. I actually got out to look at my map and my atlas and Google Maps and stuff because it was just so hot in there because my car's in the sun. I don't want to move my car, so a perfectly fine spot. I'm just waiting for the sun to set. I just looked at the sun by accident. I just killed some of my eyeball. You can see my car in the sun, which is 100% not what I want. But I don't want to move it because all the shade places were either really close to the road or they're in the sand. So I don't want to deal with that. And actually, this is a good spot for me. I'm close enough to the road to have easy access and not be in too deep sand. And I'm far enough away to have it not be weird. Hey, so I'm in my car and it's not time to go to bed yet. I just did my device and now I'm just chilling out before bed. But one thing that's weird in dispersed campsites is how quiet it is. It almost bothers me. Now, when I'm going to bed, I will put on my fan and my CPAP will be running. So it won't really be that quiet anymore. It'll have that white noise. And I actually have a white noise machine I can put on if it's, actually really bothering me. But yeah, it's strange how quiet it is. I'm used to this kind of constant noise. Now, every so often someone drives by on this highway, but it can be 15 minutes before someone drives by. So during the nighttime, it'll be very rare. Yeah, it's strange. Something to get used to. But otherwise, it is lovely, watching the sky change colors and everything. And it is neat how it can be in this remote of a place and parked for free, and I still have internet. Oh, and another thing that I'm going to try differently this night in my dispersed camping is I'm putting up my window coverings just like I do it would in the city. So it will feel kind of the same in that way. I thought it would be neat to have the mesh on there so I could let in air. And you know what? I just want all my window coverings up. I want to feel like it's my little cave that I'm in just like when I'm in town. So I don't have them all up yet because I'm watching the sunset, but as soon as it's actually dark, I'll finish putting up the last 2 and then I'll be in my little cave. The only thing I don't like about having window coverings up is I can't see what's going on outside, but I can just peek. Not that big of a deal. Good morning. So it is 6 something in the morning. I did decide to drive 120 through Yosemite, and I'm winded because I just had to run through the cold. It's like in the 40 degrees, and I'm wearing clothes for where I'm going, not for where I'm at, which is fine. It's fine in the car, but it's cold outside because I had to go to the bathroom, and they have porta potties here. So this is a perfect time to drive down 120. There are people, but they weren't even like collecting money at the gate. The gate wasn't even staffed yet. And it's lovely because the sun is just started to rise, but it hasn't hit everything yet. So the mountains are lit up, but not the valleys that I'm driving through, or the kind of in-betweens that I'm driving through. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And there's only a few people here. I see someone driving past me because people are stopping here to go use the bathrooms because the facilities here are not open yet. Some of them are ruined. Like, the snow was so intense here. It actually took out a lot of the facilities. It's really amazing to see. And they're working on it here at 6 something in the morning. So I'm glad I decided to go this way. It actually is a faster way back if there's not traffic. And it's also a beautiful drive. I also wanted to update you on the dispersed camping. It was great overall. I loved how I was out there in the middle of nowhere by myself. I could, see the horizon. There were trees. I mean, it was absolutely beautiful. I did not sleep well. It was too quiet. I'm such a city girl sometimes, right? So eventually I realized, hey, I could put on that sound machine, and I put that on, and that helped a lot. I also was having a lot of hot flashes. So, that would have been the same if I was in an apartment or house or in a car. And so I kept being hot, cold, because it was in the 40s outside. In the car, it was warmer than that. It was probably in the high 50s or around 60, which is a great temperature for me to sleep. So what would happen is I get a hot flash, I have to throw off all my covers and sheets, cool off, and then I'm too cold, and then put everything back on, and it happened multiple times a night. So I was waking up every, hour and a half probably, or hour, but I always got back to sleep. I wasn't awake that long. So yeah, I actually really enjoyed that dispersed camping experience. Once I found the place, I actually really enjoyed it. It would be great if I could go down the road a little bit more and actually be able to set up a campsite. If I had high clearance, and also was comfortable driving in sand. And so I had stuff to extract myself, like those plate things you put, I don't know what those are called, but there's stuff you can do to help you get out of sand. So having more substantial tires, having stuff to rescue myself, and having high clearance, all-wheel drive, or even four-wheel drive, but I'm thinking it's not a super Outback is what I'm going to end up getting, but not for a while, until I get some debt paid off, because I want to take on another loan, and I want to save up a bit so I can put a bunch of money down and get a good deal. So I'm going to keep driving down the 120 and be just on my way back to the Silicon Valley. It will take me another, I don't know, 4 or 5 hours. My map is on this phone, so I can't look at it right this second. I decided I'm just going to get takeout on the way back. That'll make it easier for me to go to the bathroom because I can go inside and get the takeout and use their restroom. And I'm going to use my cash because that's not in my budget. I have a bunch of cash that I got out, and yeah, it's kind of like my extra money, just in case money that's not in my main budget. I don't know if that's a good financial plan, but I got that cash out a long time ago. So it's kind of outside my normal monthly budget. So I got that. That's my plan, is just drive straight back. I stopped now to go to the bathroom, but I'm not planning to stop along the way. However, I am keeping an eye out. So on the way to the gate on 120, there were tons of pullouts that were full of camper vans and trucks with the tent on the top, and and small RVs and things. So, just sometimes a half mile outside the gate. So that is an option in the future if I want to explore this area more during, the shoulder season. I can't really go off season because it's closed, but during the shoulder season, maybe October, before the road closes, I could do that and sleep right outside the gate and then come in and do my hiking on this side of the road. That may be what I do. Like, I'm thinking I camp on the other side of the road, on the side that's the west side of the road, and in like maybe Forest Service campgrounds over there. If it's off season or shoulder season, I'd probably be able to find a campsite, or just park on roads over there, do some dispersed camping over there. I'd probably be able to do that, and then do my adaptation to elevation on that side, and then explore, and then sleep on this side, and then come explore this side. That might be a trip for late October, like right before the roads close. I think that would be fun. And a good season where it won't be as crowded. All right, so I'm going to be back on the road, driving all the way back. I did very much enjoy this trip, but I am ready to be back in town to kind of get work done and all that kind of stuff. Like I said before, I need to plan work days. I need to have my fun exploring, hiking, road trip driving days, and then have my work days even when I'm on the road, and not try to mix them up. It just doesn't work. I don't have, it's different headspaces. It's at the time, it's a headspace. So I'm going back to town. Tomorrow will be a work day. Maybe also 1 or 2 of the weekend days will be work days too. Good luck to me on the rest of the drive. Hey y'all, so I'm back in the place where I typically park at the library so I could go to the bathroom. I had a horrible drive back. It was terrible traffic. Multiple highways under construction. I shouldn't have let Google Maps pick my route back. I should have gone a different way, because on paper it was not better, but in reality it would have been better. So driving through Yosemite went great. It was lovely. The problem was actually after that. So next time I will go a different way. Horrible construction that is over for any of you who are in the San Francisco Bay Area. That's the 680, 84, 580. I mean, it's just absolutely ridiculous. I mean, I was literally stopped in the middle of the day. It was not about rush hour, it was about the construction. So anyway, I'm here. I took some over-the-counters because my head's bothering me, and I'm just gonna rest for a little bit, and then I'm gonna get something to eat. I don't even know what I want to eat. Like, actually it's hard for me to make a decision, so I'm just gonna rest for a little bit. But yeah, it is. One thing that is hard about living in a car is you don't come home after a trip to regroup. You do come back to your home base, so you know where everything is, you know, places to find the bathroom and the park and all that stuff, which is good and helpful and makes things less stressful. But you don't have a literal inside place to go into where you can lay back on the couch and you can go into your fridge and eat food. I mean, if you're on a long trip, you don't have any food in the fridge, you can still go on bad, but you don't have a pantry, you don't have a freezer. So I do miss that, coming back and just collapsing on the couch or my bed or whatever it is and taking a shower and stuff. I mean, I could go to Planet Fitness right now and take a shower, but I don't have the energy for it. I don't know if I will today, or I'll just wait till tomorrow morning. We'll see.